Hey, what's up? Welcome to the lesson of the week. And we've been working on how to play more melodically, focusing on soloing. And I kind of promised you guys something. So what I'm going to do this time is work with my drum machine, which also has some rhythm behind it, and there's some bass and all that. This is going to be over a blues progression in the key of F sharp minor. So the reason, there's a couple reasons. I want you to get used to playing in rhythm and in time. When you don't have something pushing you, a guide to follow, it's really easy to get lost, because then you're dependent on keeping a beat in your head or hoping that you're tapping your foot right. No better way than to have a drum machine, because we know the timing is going to be perfect on it, and that'll help you instill this natural groove that's going on. And the other focus is we're working on soloing, but playing more melodically. So that's just, not that you can't shred when you play, but melodic guitar playing seems like it's kind of something we're not hearing as much, at least with the newer music. So I want to help you guys become well-rounded. So here's the rhythm we're going to use. The notes are F sharp E, F sharp A. Step number one is you can actually follow that for part of a solo. We worked a little bit last lesson of the week on kind of following some of the notes in the rhythm and then playing it an octave higher and then an octave higher and finding the different spots to play the same little melody. So here we go. 2, 3, 4. F sharp minor pentatonic scale. Octave up. Okay, so I was improvising through there, just trying to keep things melodic, thinking of the rhythm that's laid out in front of me, thinking of my key, which was F sharp minor, and to be honest with you, that was all sporadic, spur of the moment. One thing cool that you can do when you got a rhythm like this going, you don't have to be playing over the whole thing. You know, we got doom, doom, doom. Why not hit something, let it ring, hit a chord, let a note ring, slide into a note. It could be something, there's something that Stevie Ray Vaughan did a lot, and I love it. It's a rake slide, stuff like this. And so I think I'm just going to pick certain little elements that I was doing in here and have you work with some of them. So to do this, a rake slide, we're going to rake upwards over all 6 of the strings, starting with the high E. And then what I'm doing, it doesn't really matter per se what finger you use to slide. I'm going to use my middle. Index and middle are the primaries, maybe third. But I'm going to fret 15. Now the note we're starting the slide isn't critical. We're going for the effect of the rake, which is some mutes over the strings in the slide. So I'm laying these fingers softly over all the strings. My middle finger's in position. Actually, go to fret 14, just to be safe, because if that note is heard, you want it to be in the key. All right, so to do that, once again, right when you get up to the E string with this pick drag, you want to apply pressure to this F sharp, which is fret 14 on the low E. As soon as you get there, slide that. And we're going to slide clear over to fret 2, which is another F sharp. We've just traveled a whole octave from F sharp to F sharp. Once you get there, pick that. But you want to get used to, it's not a strum, it's a slow drag. Okay, so one thing you can do is just leave the fingers there with the strings, do the rakes, get used to that. Once you get comfortable with that, be ready. It's a timing issue of landing and applying the pressure right when this pick gets past the A string. Now, one of the little melodies I did was I followed the rhythm that was already on the machine, which is F sharp, E, F sharp, A. That's fret 2, low E, open E, fret 2, and then up to fret 5 on the E string. And I just repeated that. Another thing you can do is strum an F sharp minor chord over that, covering everything on fret 2 with the bar. Go third finger 4A, fourth finger 4D. It's an F sharp minor bar chord, and just strum it. Little things you can do is kind of a more like, instead of a strum, keep it kind of like a rake, similar to how we introed this. And also you can do that rake back towards the bridge and give you more of a trebly, mid-rangey, tinty sound. Like, if the bar chord's too tough, don't worry about it. You could just bar the second fret on the last 3 strings and then go 4th fret D and just play those. Or you can use your third finger here. Another thing I did in the chord realm was I strummed it and added a G sharp with my pinky to fret 4 on the high E string, then strum them again, and then an A note, which is fret 5 on the E string. So you can play with the melody F sharp, G sharp, and A. Those are notes in the F sharp minor scale. Okay, so, or you can strum the F sharp minor and pick the notes in order on that scale. Stuff like that. Another thing you can do is play straight through the F sharp minor pentatonic scale. I use the 6th note, which has the flat 5 in it. In other words, 2 5 E, 2 3 4 A, 2 4 D. So it's our first octave from F sharp to F sharp. There's 7 notes, 8 counting the octave. The 8 and the 1 are the same because it's an F sharp. F sharp, A, B, C, C sharp, E. That's our 7th note. Actually, no, I'm thinking of the natural minor. We're doing a 6-note pentatonic scale. My bad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then the 7th note would be the octave. If we were doing a natural minor scale, that's a different story. But that consists of these notes anyways, just more notes. Then we would go 2-4-5 on the G, 2-5 on the B, and 2-5 on the E. And I just played it mechanically, and sometimes that's good too. There's nothing wrong with that. And I ended on the B note, so if you played it ascending, and then played it descending, and stop on the 4th fret G. So when you're coming back, you're going 5-2, 5-2, 5-4. And then you can finish it out. Or we can grab some more notes. You can do this, which is used a lot in blues. See? We can grab the 2nd fret on the G, the 4th fret on the G, slide it to the 6th fret, and I'm using my 1st, 3rd here, leave it ringing, drop the middle finger to 5B. So we have... Notice how I paused. You wouldn't want to just be like me talking and not putting any pauses and just keep going and then asking you a question and then you run out of breath. Let things breathe. I rested right there instead of going. Or put those rests in there. For sure. And there's not a wrong spot to do it. You got to experiment. And I highly suggest get a drum machine. Or if you have a buddy that plays drums and you can keep the tempo really good. But a drum machine, you can plug it in whenever you want, no matter what time it is. And it'll work with, I think it's the best route to go. And you can experiment and you'll be inspired when you start doing this. You'll be like, whoa, that sounded cool. Record yourself too, playing this stuff, and then go back. They're your riffs. I'm sure you'll be able to find out what you're doing. I'm giving you ideas in some riffs, but you'll be able to remember that, and those you stick in your bag of tricks, you know. Another thing I did was I went up and played that first melody, the F sharp E, F sharp A. I played it up here. And that's 3rd finger 9A, 1st finger 7A, 3rd finger 9A, and 1st finger 7D. And one thing you could do to add a little cool character element to this would be to 1/4 step bend that A note, which is the last note. Right there. You could also use a different note in the scale the second time around. In other words, we can grab the 9 on the D. So now we're thinking subgroups here. I just did 2 subgroups. That's 1, here's 2. Go back to the first one. Now we have 3 of them, if you see them in your mind like that. And then a lot of times what guitar players will do is they'll alter the 4th one. You got to find a way out of there. You don't want to play the same thing the whole time, right? So little things. And all I did there, coming out of it, I went 9D, slide to 11, 1st finger 9G, and then 9, 10, 11. 1st, 2nd, 3rd finger, alternate pick. 3. And then you can go back if you wanted, you know. And that's another thing. You can take one subgroup here. That's the cool thing with subgroups. Play the first subgroup there, the second one up here. The third one can be up here. And I'll give you a little double stop idea. Double stops are when you're playing 2 strings at once. You could go 16, 14, 16 on the D. That would be 3rd, 1st, 3rd on your fingers. And then 1st finger bar the 14th fret on the G and B. Anchor it with putting your thumb up here. And then pull them down slightly. And that'll add a cool little touch to your soloing. So now, rather than staying here for all of it, which we still could do, now we're going. Oops. we use the whole neck instead of staying in one spot. So think simple sometimes. It's not always about being this technical player. It shouldn't be. It should be a mixture of all those things that'll create your style. You guys, any scale that's F sharp minor here, you can use A major and F sharp minor. That's because they're the same notes. For every major key you have a minor key, or vice versa. For every minor key you have a major key that you can solo in. That's called relative minor. The same notes, it's just an A major starts on an A. The F sharp minor starts on an F sharp. Well, the A major scale has an F sharp in it. It's the 6th note of the A major scale. And that's how you could find your relative minors. But it'll color them. You may think, well, why bother? Why don't I just think of it as the F sharp minor? You can, but it'll color your soloing different sometimes. You know, a lot of times our ear will say, if it's in the key of F sharp, I need to start on an F sharp note. You don't. I used to think that, and it's weird because looking back, it's like, why would I think that? But I am not the only one that has thought that. When you listen to a solo, you're not always starting on the root. You have the notes, the other notes in the scale. You can start on any note you want when you're soloing, as long as it's in that key. So F sharp minor and A major. You know, for example, really quick here. So if you wanted to play an A major scale over this rhythm, you can go. It's still 1 octave. 5-7 E, 4-5-7 A, and 4-6-7 D. Slide to some of your notes. Now your ear may like the F sharp a lot, which I get it. That's why you hear that a lot with soloing, is it seems resolved, like you've put an exclamation point at the end of your sentence, if that makes sense. You know, your rhythms, and you know, having the note with the chord or the root of the melody, it a lot of times seems right. So that's the beauty of it. You know, you pick and choose what you like. There's another one you can use. That's just using a different pattern of the minor pentatonics. You can go 5-7 B, 5 E, twice, bend the second one time a quarter step, bend it up because you don't want to bend it off the neck, or bend both of them, and then 7B, 3rd finger twice. Think of loops, guys, not quantity. Think of the riff, which are pretty small, what we're using in here, and repeat it. You may want to play it 4 times in a row over the. So, anyways, we're going to work with the drum machine probably for the remainder of this series of playing more melodically in your solos for the lessons of the week. I'll probably be having this for every lesson. I think it's important, and we need to focus on keeping you in rhythm and hopefully inspiring you along the way. All right, so thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week.